morning, Sean. Quick demo video for you for your Luke Eco Hero by KR Sabers. As you know, this is installed with it's the Goth Crystal Chamber Eco chassis from KR Sabers. It's the full kit, right? So Proffie, you've got your stock V2s in here, and then how you get to everything is you want to unscrew the pommel. I did sand down the chassis so the pommel won't interfere with your switches. But there is a trick to the switches, all right? We'll take this off first, and you can see your chassis here. You do have the option of just coming in here and flipping your kill switch and leaving this in place if you wanted to. So we could just, flip this here. You got your blinkies working in the cave scene. Turn it on from here. Auxiliary. We could flip this off, but of course you want to see the chassis because it's got a crystal reveal in it, right? So one thing I will say is take the extra time to take these switches out. While it is possible to put this in with the switches in, it's very finicky, and the actual tactile switches on your PCB are very fragile, and it's easy to damage them. So what I would do is just come over here, slide this control box back, take it off. Once you take it off, you'll see these two guys right here. These are your plungers. All right, so just take them out, right? You got that one, your activation. We'll come over here and we'll take that one out. Slide this other one out. That's your auxiliary. These do have springs in them, so just be careful, leave the springs in, or do this over a table or something where you won't lose them. That way, when you come over here and you turn your chassis to pull it out, you won't damage your switches, okay? I learned that the hard way. So this is your switch PCB. Those tactile switches are very tiny. So like I said, it takes less than 15 seconds to open up that control box, take those switches out to put this in or out. And we'll do that when we're putting it in as well. We'll leave the switches out. And then once it's in place, we'll drop the plungers in, all right? But this is your chassis. So you got your tactile PCB right here with your two LEDs, your crystal chamber, right? You did ask for the blade side PCB to be put on your actual chassis. So you've got that here, and then you've got your stock V2 up inside of the Saber that you wanted. So that's where that's located, right? What else we got? This is a removable battery, so I'm going to leave that in there for you. And of course, you got your kill switch here. This is a 28mm KR speaker. And then your board. I did a little something different on this board than the pictures that I sent you yesterday. I sat down to do a demo this morning. I was like, you know what? I'm going to add this little feature to this before I do this demo. So how to get to your board is you got to take this cover off right here, right? And it's on 4 magnets, and it is a bit of a press fit, so it stays on there nice. Just take your time. Pop it off. If you have trouble, there we go. If you have trouble getting it with your fingers, you could just take a pair of tweezers or something and pop it up. But when you take this cover off, this has your crystal on it. So I've got that real quartz crystal that you wanted, and we replaced the printed crystal that came with the chassis. Okay, so that's a real quartz crystal. It's glued in place, and that's what that looks like. You got 2 magnets over here and 2 magnets over here, and then when you open it up, you've got board access. And this is a little something extra that I did this morning is I put this 3-strip LED in here so that I could light up this little slit that you have on the cover. You've got this little slit right here. So what I've done is I've made this to where it looks like broken circuitry when the Saber is on, right? And I'll show you that here in a second. But you've got access to your SD card and your micro USB from right here. I did glue the board down so it won't move on you. And then if you look up in there, you see the pixel accent for your actual crystal, all right? So we're going to go ahead, we'll throw this back on here, just do it gently. Put it right in place. It kind of snaps in, and then those magnets make sure it really gets held in place, and everything looks good to go. So now you can actually see that 3-pixel accent right there. I wanted to light that up. So I do have the 2 sound fonts on here that you sent me, and every sound font has 5 blade styles. So what you'll see is, and it goes in order, right? So the first blade style is your blade. The second blade style is your red LED on your control box. The third blade style is your green LED on your control box. The fourth is your crystal chamber. And then the fifth is that 3-pixel accent right here. So 3 or 5 blade styles for every sound font. And there's a copy of the config file on your SD card. All right. But we'll come over here and flip this open, or flip this on rather. You can see your cave scene going. You can also see I've got your crystal blinking, and it is on a timer. All right. So when we turn this on, we'll just come over here and hit the activation tactile. So your red one stays on when the Saber's on. Your green one goes solid, and then this one just kind of looks like broken circuitry up here. You find the auxiliary switch, and then the crystal does react to the aux being pressed. To hit for blade lock, or yeah, blade lockup. A little tricky. But anyway, that's how it looks all the way around there. And then I did give you twist off. All right. So again, when we're putting this inside the Saber, we're going to go ahead and we're going to leave those tactiles out of the control box. And then we'll come in here and we'll throw it in. All right. Make sure we line it up with that. There's a little, once you take those plungers out, you can see there's only one set screw in there. Kind of, you know, you can see it right there. It's a little lopsided from the control box, but that's where this channel and this chassis lines up. So we'll get that in. Make sure we get it all lined up. Do not force it. Okay, I had to do that a few times there. Don't force it. If you're having trouble with it, if it's catching on something, back it up, try it again. It's very finicky to get it to line up with that set screw. I've got that set screw down low enough to where it catches in the channel, but it makes sure that the chassis is not loose. All right. And if you ever wanted to adjust that, you could come over here, unscrew these two Phillips head screws here, take this box off, and you can adjust it to your liking. I tried to make it nice and tight there. All right. So after we get that in, come over here and we'll throw our plungers in. Just like that. Now, once we get those plungers in, we can come over here and we can throw the clamp card on. All in all, that takes about 15 seconds, 20 seconds if I wasn't talking my way through it. Okay, so you got your control box blinkies going on. I did come back here and I sanded down the speaker, and I sanded down about the first inch of this chassis so that we could take the pommel and it would slide right on. But you do have to do it carefully. So slide it right on. You butt the threads all the way up against the Saber, and then go ahead and lock it down. Typically on this chassis, what you'll find if you don't do that and you go to put this pommel on and screw it down, it actually twists the chassis and it throws the switches out of alignment, so that when you put it on and you go to hit power, it won't work, right? But this time it's fine. It sounds really good. Auxiliary. To play your soundtracks, it's a long press on the activation. Another long press to turn it off. Just like that. And then to switch sound fonts, you just hit auxiliary. Twist off just like that. We'll go ahead and we'll throw a blade in this guy. As you know, it takes a 1-inch diameter NeoPixel blade. And we'll lock down that 832 set screw. Just like that. Right, so now we can come over here. I'm left-handed, but I'll try to do it over here so you can see your box. Blade lockup is just holding down aux and hitting the Saber. shit right here. Let go of it. You can twist it off, or you can just tap the activation. Just like that.
Are you a Jedi? I am.
So it's very nice and solid. I got to come back to my left hand. Sorry, man. It's very nice and solid. Good flash on flash. Just like that. And we'll come back over here and take the blade out. And again, we'll go over taking the chassis out, just because I do want to stress taking the plungers out of your switch box. Okay, you'll save yourself a lot of headache in the long run if you just go ahead and
Are you a Jedi? I am.
Drop this one out. Come over here and drop this one out. Now now that those are out, we can come over here and just unscrew the pommel. Twist it clockwise a little bit, and then you can pull it right out, just like that. All right. This over here. And of course, you still got, now I've got your control box goes on and on, but your crystal chamber is on a timer. But if I came over here and flipped the kill switch, cuts everything like it should. All right. So that's basically your Luke from KR Sabers. Let me know if you got any questions. If not, I will try to get this out in the mail to you today. Thanks.